Okay, so here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, June 8th, 2021. The time is 3:02 p.m., officially calling this meeting to order. It is our weekly business meeting, and attending are Commissioners Duncan, Brooks, and Fillios. And I'm going to ask Captain Stu Miller, would you please lead us in the pledge, sir? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, then. Can I have a motion to approve the consent calendar, please?
I move we approve the consent calendar as listed on our business meeting agenda for June 8th, 2021.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Fillios.
Aye, and the motion is carried. The payables list, please.
I move that we approve the payables for the week of May 31st through June 4th, 2021 in the amount of $667,575.69.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Fillios.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Do we have any changes to the agenda?
Yes, we have one item added. It is a financial emergency, if you will, and Parks and Waterways can explain the urgent nature of the request.
Okay, so Parks and Waterways. Yes, Nick, please.
Thank you, Commissioners. Nick Snyder for the record. Our primary turf mower failed, Commissioners, catastrophically, and there is an extremely low inventory nationwide. As a matter of fact, Spokane will have 3 coming in. If we do not act quickly, I would not normally bring this forward in this manner, we could lose out, which means we would not be able to care for Parks and Waterways facilities for the remainder of the summer. We're hearing orders as far out as August and September. So we'll get into the item later, but the request is necessary and to ensure we don't lose the equipment.
And you've already briefed some of us. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so we do have one other change. I have to strike on the advice of our attorney resolution for the amended Kootenai County Waterways. It will be reposted. We need to clean up some of the language, and that's where we are. I'm not going to entertain any further discussion on that topic today, but that's where we are, and so we will repost it, and we will revisit the issue, okay? It's basically just a formality to clean up some of the language. Yes, ma'am?
Correct, yes, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Yep. So I move that we add the Parks and Waterways mower situation to the agenda due to the declared urgency.
Yes.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Fillios.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Okay. We don't need a motion to strike, or do we need a motion to strike the list?
No, we don't, but if we could handle the mower first, then maybe Nick can get back to work. Or
Okay,
actually,
Nick,
he can,
you've just
get the
been moved
mower
up
on
to
the
number
line.
1.
Go order that puppy quick.
We need to. Thank you, Commissioners. Nick Snyder for the record. So this purchase will not increase our fiscal year 21 budget. Commissioners, we do have the funding in our budget. However, County Policy 930 requires me to come forward to the Commissioners to convert non-capital funds for a capital purchase. I have checked with, verified rather with Finance Director Darrow to ensure that she sees the same money we do on the other end. She agrees, and we're ready to make a purchase with your approval.
Okay. What's the amount?
15, just under 15,000, approximately 14.8. Commissioner, could vacillate just a little bit on setup and freight, but it will be under 15.
And the source of the money?
Source of the money will come from a combination of parks, boat launch user fees, and vessel account, not split equally, but across non-capital accounts, 35, 37.
so just for clarification, I think what Chairman's asking is the money's already budgeted for this year,
Budgeted.
but we're moving it from non-capital purchases to a capital
Fair
purchase.
enough.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay. Any other questions? Motion?
I move that we approve the purchase of the lawnmower in the amount of approximately $14,800 to be taken from our non-capital funds and put into the capital item.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chairman Fillios,
Aye, and the motion is carried. Moving back up to what was item number 1, agreement for household hazardous waste collection, Veolia Technical Solutions LLC, and our solid waste organization.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. John Phillips, or JP for the record. The Solid Waste Department operates 2 household hazardous collection sites, one at each of our transfer stations. Environmental technicians at these sites separate household hazardous waste, appropriately pack it into drums or into appropriate containers, and then that material is shipped off-site to hazardous waste landfills across the country. This agreement with Veolia Services is for transportation, recycling, treatment, and/or disposal of this household hazardous waste. Quoted pricing is reasonable when compared to other companies that do similar service. Veolia has done a good job for us in the past, and they are a reputable company. This is a 1-year non-exclusive agreement with the option of up to 3 additional 1-year terms if both parties agree. The initial term begins in October of 2021 and ends in September of 2022. So the Solid Waste Department requests that you approve and sign this 1-year non-exclusive agreement with Veolia Technical Services.
Okay. JP, was this budgeted?
This is a budgeted item, and the Solid Waste Department does have the funds to cover this.
Fair enough. Any other questions? Motion, Bill, you want to take this one?
Sure. I move that we approve the agreement for household hazardous waste collection with Veolia Technical Services LLC and solid waste.
Second, sorry.
Bill Brooks,
What? No. Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Fillios.
Aye, and the motion is carried.
Get out of sync here.
I know.
Hey, you know it confuses me when you swap off.
Okay. Well, 2 of us were at the Idaho Association of Counties, but we're hosting that this week. So that's where Leslie and I were all morning. Okay, item number 2, memorandum of agreement for support community-based alternative services program for substance use disorder services program and juvenile probation. Deb, please.
Debbie Nadeau, Director of Juvenile Probation for the record.
Please speak into the microphone. You can move it.
You can
Pull it right to you.
Yep,
There
pull
you
it.
go.
Pull it. Just pull. I know. Just
This is an annual renewal of our memorandum of understanding with the Idaho Department of Juvenile Corrections in order for us to be able to access these community-based service funds as well as the substance use treatment funds. It runs on the state fiscal year, so July 1st through June 30th. I don't have numbers yet for this year, but state fiscal year 20, we accessed $10,531 for community-based services like equine therapy for 20 of our clients, and $197,048 for substance use treatment for 117 of our clients. So well worth this memorandum. It doesn't expend any county funds. This is state funds that they make available for us, for our clients.
Okay, fair enough. Any questions? Motion.
I move that we approve the memorandum of agreement for the Support Community-Based Alternative Services Program and the Substance Use Disorder Services Program with juvenile probation.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chairman Fillios,
Aye, and the motion is carried. Thank you, Commissioner. Item number 3, Administrative Amendment Fiscal Year 21 Statewide Transportation Improvement Program, also known as STIP, Resource Management Office. Kim, I think you had someone else who was going to speak to this? Oh, okay, go right ahead.
This is for public transportation. Kim Riley for the record. This is an administrative amendment to add the items that were on prior year STIPs to the current year STIP. It came to my attention when I submitted our application for fixed route ops using prior year funds that FTA requires the dollars be in your current year STIP. You cannot provide documentation of prior year STIPs as they lapse when the current year STIP is approved. So this is taking funding from FY19 and FY20 STIPs and putting them into the FY21 STIP so that I can apply for the funding for our rolling stock.
Okay. Kim, what's the source of these funds?
FT.
Is this FTA?
It's our 5307 funds.
Okay. Any other questions? Motion? Bill, you want to take?
Yeah, I move that we approve the administrative amendment FY21 statewide transportation improvement program and the resource management office.
Second.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Fillios.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Item number 4, approval, updated revised expenditure policy 930, human resources. Is HR present?
Sylvia, yeah, I'll take it. Anybody on the phone? Okay, I guess I'll take it. Just a brief background for everybody watching and listening. I went to look at policy 930 months ago now to just get a clarification on it. Found out that not only were we not following it, it was actually against state law. So all these months later, with a bunch of cooperative input from the elected officials, we have come to a good and reasonable expenditure policy 930, and we're here to ratify it today.
Okay. Questions? None? Motion?
I move that we approve the updated and revised expenditure policy 930.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Fillios.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Item number 5, approve the quote for fiber optic cabling connections with Thorco and our sheriff's organization, specifically 911. Take it away.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Alan Mallory with the 911 Center. I'm seeking approval of a contract for a fiber optic cable that we'd like to install between the 911 Center and the Sheriff's Office. It's to complete a project that we started last year when we upgraded our phone system. We got a geodiverse system now that half of it resides at the jail and the other half resides at the 911 Center. To complete this process, we would like to install a fiber optic cable that would give us high speed and separate ourselves from the link that comes all the way down to the admin building back to the jail. This would allow us a redundant path just in case we have a backhoe hit the fiber optic cable like we did a couple years ago. I attempted to reach out to about 10 different vendors. I got really a lot of negative response, and I listed it on the paperwork that I sent with you. The local vendor is Thorco. They do the fiber optic cable for the county, as well as they subcontract for all the national vendors that you could get a bid for. So I reached out to Boise, Seattle, Portland to try to find some other vendors that would be willing to come. No success. So my proposal is that you would accept the Thorco bid as is, and with the information that I gave you with the people that rejected our offer to submit a bid.
Okay, and the source of the money?
It's part of the 124 budgeting of the phone system from last year that got carried over.
Okay. How much are we talking about? Is it, go ahead.
It's 90,000.
Okay. Any questions? Motion?
Sounds like you tried real hard.
It took me 10 months to get
Oh,
to
no.
today.
Okay,
Motion? Bill?
I can do it. I move that we would make a motion that we approve the quote for fiber optic cabling connection with Thorco and KCSO and 911.
Second.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Fillios.
Aye. Motion is carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 6, change order number 1 for the audiovisual upgrade project with Avidex Board of County Commissioners. Nancy, do you want to take this, please? For everyone's benefit, this crude arrangement that you see will be gone within the next 3 weeks because we're revamping the
Amen.
audio-video system here. Go right ahead.
Nancy Jones, for the record, Commissioners. This is a change order that began, as you're aware, we have been speaking recently with Buildings and Grounds about creating a permanent home for this equipment so that the cabling is not in the way and we don't have to take it down every time we have outside meetings in this room. So there are 3 components to this. The first is the actual move of the existing electronics into that room. The second would be a panel that would go under the charging rack for the new microphones would be built into the new built-in unit. There would also be a touch screen there that would allow us to control all of the mic levels in the different zones from the seated positions so that we could continue to do video and audio at the same time. And the third part is a new microphone for this podium that will be more omnidirectional and help us adjust for tall and short people. So number 1 and number 3 are ones we have talked about before. Number 2, to be honest, I will leave in your hands. It would be a little more efficient, but it isn't completely necessary. There would be a unit in there to adjust those sound levels. I would just have to leave the unit during video to do that. So, and that's a difference of $2,100 for that separate unit.
Okay, so what are we looking at for a total without the second unit?
So we've got, I don't have it in front of me.
So it's $2,650 with the new microphone and the other
And 47.
broadcast booth in the room. And then it'd be $2,100 to add that most. I mean, this is already a $50,000 project, so to add $2,100 in order for the one person to be able to operate everything from one station, I'm okay with. Because once you leave the equipment and then come back to it, and I think it'll be more efficient. I'm not excited about it, but
The only time I think it would be a constant positive is if we have any of those situations where we've had with the squeaking feedback, where I'm constantly adjusting. That would be the primary benefit to it. So,
Okay.
yeah, overall, it's about $4,700 change for the full change order.
I am very excited about it.
I'm so excited.
One big question, and I asked you before, if you're locked up in that little room with all that equipment, what about heat buildup in that room?
Right now, we're just going to be leaving the top part of it open. There'll be a built-in counter and the top will be open. We'll use fans. And then in the future, we'll look at some venting and different options. But
Okay.
I'm comfortable that this is a good solution for me and for buildings and grounds and anyone else using the system.
That's what I'm concerned about, because if you're in there and it's too hot, you won't be comfortable.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks, Nancy. Motion?
I move that we approve change order number 1, which includes the 3 separate pieces for the audiovisual upgrade projects and Avidex.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chairman Fillios.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Trying to read these numbers here. Okay. Item number 7, fiscal year 22 substance abuse block grant. It's the continuation award agreement with the Idaho Office of Drug Policy and Juvenile Diversion Resource Management Office. Who's going to speak to this?
Hi, this is Kelly Hilliard with Kootenai County Juvenile Diversion.
Go right ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, thank you. So this is an ongoing grant that we have received now for over 20 years. And not a grant, and it is a block grant. And it's no matching funds. We applied for it with your permission, and we did get granted. Again, it helps teach the drug and alcohol class that we put forth every year that puts about anywhere from 100 to 300 kids through for 8-hour ADIS class.
Okay, any questions? Motion?
Move that we approve the FY22 substance abuse block grant continuation award between Idaho Office of Drug Policy and Juvenile Diversion.
Second.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chairman Fillios.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Final item, which is the appointment of the Committee for the American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA funds for the Board of County Commissioners. I'll take this one. The county-based, the ARPA is the American Rescue Plan Act, and so the county is destined, if we accept the funds and all the qualifying parameters that go around it, to receive somewhere around $32 million. These are payments that the Biden administration is making direct to jurisdictions. So this money would come to us theoretically in 2 stages. The first $16 million, presumably within the next few months, if in fact we get everything in order by then. And then the second $16 million would come approximately 12 months later. So the purpose of this item is to establish the committee that's going to investigate the use of the funds where they're applicable, and to make sure that we have the necessary approvals to go ahead, and so that we don't get ourselves in trouble with the Department of Treasury. So the individuals that, and I've spoken with Treasurer Steve Matheson, that I'm recommending be appointed to this committee. But incidentally, ultimately, the authorization to spend the money to actually make that decision does rest with the Board of County Commissioners, but certainly that comes a lot later. So Treasurer Steve Matheson, Finance Director Dina Darrow, working with Dina Michelle Charamonti. From Resource Management Office, Jody Beasy, and working with Jody is Kim Riley. And from our Resource Management, from the Board of County Commissioners, Nancy Pluff.
May I add Pat Braden?
Oh, yes,
And
legal.
actually Jim Brannon and Julina Hildreth.
I think we're getting a little bit too big, aren't we?
Well, here's the issue. With our CARES Act, they got really efficient and good at it, and it's really RMO working with the auditor's office, and then having Steve as the executor, and then having legal on this team in particular would be the two additions, really. But Jim is not planning on coming a lot. It's just having him on there gives that auditor team some backup.
Okay. Bill, you okay?
That's fine.
Treasurer Matheson, did you care to comment? Are you okay? You're good? Okay, then. Motion.
I move that we appoint the following individuals to the ARPA committee, and that would be Jody Beasy, Dina Darrow, Kim Riley, Pat Braden, Julina Hildreth, Jim Brannon, Steve Matheson, Nancy Pluff, and did I miss somebody?
Did you get Julina?
I did. I got Julina. And Michelle.
I second the motion.
9 people, odd number. Okay, good.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Fillios.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Okay, that's it. Public comment. Jim, come forward, please.
Jim Stafford, Spokane River Association. I think that the public would request and should have more explanation than just removing the approval that was scheduled for today.
I get it. But under the advice of our attorney, I can't go there. It will be reposted. I'm not expecting major changes, but our legal wants to consult further with our sheriff's organization and the county commissioners.
Well, I just would like to mention that we've had a lot of time to do
I get it.
this.
Understood.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Time is now 3:27 and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.